What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Well, here we are. Grand Hotel Season 1, Episode 13, A Perfect Storm. All good things must come to an end, and tonight it was the end. The season finale of Grand Hotel. We had so much build up to this finale. I was not ready for it, but tonight's episode did not disappoint. It was a lot of twists, a lot of turns. Some of us thought we had it figured out, but then they threw another curve in there. Oh, wow. Let me just get Javi and everybody out the way, first of all, before we get into the heavy of the episode. It was strange seeing Jason serving them breakfast and pouring them juice, being a servant instead of a Mendoza. I was like, okay, this is awkward. No wonder Alicia had to get the hell out of there, because even she was like, yeah, this is awkward. Sitting in there watching her brother serve them and stuff like that. I'm surprised she's not telling Javi about it. The fact that Jason is their brother. Like, I'm shocked that she's keeping that secret from Javi. Speaking of Javi, it didn't take long for the playboy and him to come back out. He's still a hoe, even in the end, still a whore. He met some older chick at the bar, but she looked somewhat young, but she older. And apparently she's an alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic, so she said. She said she was 10 years, off and on with alcohol, and she's been 1 year fully sober. So, of course, Javi and Roxanne, which is her name, they end up sleeping together. So as soon as he get out the bed and stuff, she pull a little nip out of her purse, drinking. I'm like, of course. Once a alkie, always a alkie. Now, the shocker of this was, and I was not expecting this, come to find out, Roxanne, the older alcoholic woman that Javi slept with within the first 5 minutes of meeting her, come to find out, surprise, surprise, she's Ingrid's mother. I said, are you kidding me? The mere thought that Ingrid and her mother shared the same man. I said, are you serious? I said, are you serious? Her mama? Ew. Ugh. Her mama? Javi just sleeps with anything. Like, you would think that he would have standards. I said, Javi ain't got no standards. I said, you could just have sex with anything. Damn. Like, it could be a female pit bull sitting there. He would sleep with it. Like, he just nasty. Ew, sleeping with somebody that's old enough to probably be your mama. Hell wrong with him. Just disgusting. That right there sent Ingrid ready to drink. Like, she was sitting there throwing them martinis back. I don't blame her. Like, that's just gross. I was like, ugh. So, it was just disgusting. Like, ilk. Javi, do better. Like, seriously, sleeping with that girl, Mammy, do better. Hopefully, if they get a season 2, I want to see more of Roxanne in season 2. Because there's definitely more to explore with Ingrid and her mother. Because clearly, Ingrid doesn't have the best relationship with her mother. That's obvious. That's been apparent. The hospital scenes and stuff like that where Ingrid, I thought it was nice of Ingrid to go there to check on Malcolm and the family and, bring them muffins and coffee and stuff like that. I thought that was nice. But what she wasn't expecting was Vanessa to be there. Vanessa came in there with a whole bunch of food, and I was like, okay. So Jason, little, long distance girlfriend came up in there with food and, bringing them food. And of course, Ingrid was uncomfortable. Ingrid did not want to stay. Mrs. P was telling her she should stay. Vanessa brought a lot of food and stuff. But, Ingrid was uncomfortable. Because, she got a thing for Jason. She liked Jason. But she felt like he probably moved on at this point. She just really wished that she had the type of, family connection and relationship. She wished that her family was as tight as the Parkers. And, Mrs. P understood where she was coming from because she didn't really have to go into detail or say anything too much. But Mrs. P understood that Ingrid didn't have the best upbringing, the best family life. She understood that. But, Ingrid was trying to say Mrs. P was, a perfect mother. Mrs. P let her know. She was like, no, I'm far from perfect. And we soon found out that that was true. She's far from perfect. You know what, with all these secrets and stuff coming out during this episode, being it's the finale, I was hoping Ingrid would have found out that Mateo was responsible for the loss of their child. I was hoping she would have found that out. I was mad when they ended up sleeping together. I was like, damn, I was hoping Ingrid would have found out about that before the show ended. I was hoping so. I said, please find out. But she ended up opening the cookie jar to Mateo again. Mateo was just on one in this episode. He really thought that he was going to get part ownership of that hotel. I'm like, no, you're not. Santiago, I was shocked though, because remember last week I was wondering if Santiago was really going to change his will. He did. He included Yoli and Carolina in his will. So I'm guessing, if something ever happened to Santiago, hint, hint, Javi, Alicia, Carolina, and Yoli will all inherit equal shares of the hotel. I thought that was nice of him, but I wasn't expecting him to do that. That was a shock to me because I really wasn't expecting it. I thought he was going to try to pull a swerve real quick. I wasn't expecting that, but I said, okay, I respect it. Those is his stepkids, he want to provide for them and make sure that they're provided for. I can respect it. Carolina pissed me off though. Like, here she come with a whole bunch of shopping bags and stuff. I'm like, anything Santiago leave her, she would just blow through it. Like, she's crazy. She gonna sit there and tell Yoli that she called their father, that she talked to their dad, Felix, and told him about the inheritance. The fact that Santiago included Yoli and Carolina in his will. Yoli was like, why the hell would you tell him that? I agreed. I was like, why would you tell your dad that you're going to inherit from Are you stupid? Because Yoli, no, the last time she talked to her father, he was pissed and he was hell-bent on revenge. So we can only imagine what that means. And now Felix, of course, is on his way back to Florida. He on his way back to Miami. Go figure. Yoli need to learn how to keep her mouth shut. Like, for real. Like, she's just not that bright at all. Like, no wonder she be trying to marry rich. Because she knows she can't make a fortune on her own. She know it. And people used to always say blondes were stupid. I guess that's over with. So anyway, moving on from all of that. So now Danny is in the thick of this investigation. So of course, him and Alicia question Yoli about her relationship with Skye. And that's when Danny revealed to her that Skye was his sister. So we get a flashback scene of Yoli and Skye at the penthouse, inside the suite. Gigi and Santiago's suite while they were away. So apparently this was a few days before the hurricane happened. They were in there cooking and stuff like that, and that's when Yoli brought her into Gigi's closet and showed her all of the, nice clothes and expensive jewelry and everything that Gigi got. And that's when Skye found that secret compartment in her safe that had Beatrice's suicide note in it. So that's when she swiped it. And of course, when Gigi got back, she noticed that the note was gone. And she was like, there was nobody there because Yoli was the only one that was supposed to be there, house sitting basically. And that's when she admitted that she had Skye there. And of course, she lied to Santiago and said that Skye stole her jewelry. I was like, Gigi, you better come up with a better lie than that. But Santiago, of course, bought her story. And that's when, Yoli confronted her or whatever because she thought that Skye was just using her to steal from her mom and stuff like that, which was not true. And Danny told Yoli that his sister would never steal. But, Yoli always knew that Skye's disappearance wasn't accidental. Yoli kind of had a feeling about that too. So anyway, moving on from that, Santiago trying to come up with a plan to get Mateo out of the hotel. And that's when he decides to look for footage to prove that he helped Teresa escape. So that way he could blackmail him with it. And that's when Santiago finds the footage of Danny and the detective. So once Santiago found the footage of Danny and the detective talking, Santiago was in a fit of rage. He was like, you know what? Let me go find out about this boy. So that's when he, goes down to Mrs. P office where Danny and Alicia are, but Danny had to hide. And that's when Santiago wanted Danny's personnel file. So he looking up in his personnel file and stuff like that, and then he decided to go into the locker room where all the employees' lockers are, and he broke into Danny's locker looking through his bag and stuff like that, and he found the police evidence, the file that the detective gave him. Santiago was pissed because now he thinks that he's there or whatever to get revenge on Gigi, or he's there, to spy on his family or whatever the case may be. And lo and behold, I was shocked at first when Danny got a phone call from Skye. We saw Skye's name on his phone. I was like, Skye? He had 3 missed calls. But come to find out, they weren't from Skye. Apparently, somebody turned her phone into the hotel's lost and found. And that's when he got the phone. And he apparently looked into her phone and there was a recording. Him and Alicia listened to the recording. And it was about that night that Skye went missing. She had a conversation with Gigi. And she was trying to blackmail Gigi, trying to get money out of her so that way she would never have to work for people like Gigi again. What Gigi didn't know was Skye was recording that whole conversation. She recorded the whole 7-minute conversation. Skye was recording it as insurance policy. See, Skye was smart. Skye, in my opinion, was way smarter than Danny. Like, she knew what to do. She was more discreet and covert. You know what I mean? Like, she was way more skilled at this than Danny was. Even though she was nervous and scared, but she held her composure, you know what I mean? Kept a straight face. I respect it. So they figured out that Santiago never knew about Jason. Because he didn't. He never knew Jason was his son. But of course, Gigi knew. Gigi knew the whole damn time and didn't want to tell Santiago nothing. So, of course, that's when Danny confronted Gigi about it. He locked the doors and stuff like that. He confronted her. And she basically told him everything that he needed to know. That they, were looking for her or whatever because she took that note. And Mrs. P, apparently she went to Mrs. P. She went to Mrs. P and told Mrs. P that Skye had the note. So Mrs. P was like, all right, we got to lock down the hotel. I'm going to lock down her key card, make sure she can't go nowhere. She can't get out. So she running around, Skye running around and stuff like that, trying to get up out of there, and her key card not working. So she hears somebody running down the steps and stuff like that, and that's when she go outside. And she was confronted by Gigi. But Gigi admitted to Danny that she didn't kill him. That she didn't kill Skye. See, I knew Gigi didn't do it because the person who did it was wearing dark clothes, like dark pants. Gigi had on all white. So I knew it couldn't have been her. It couldn't have been her. I was like, no, it can't be Gigi. It had to be somebody else. So at first, I'm thinking it was Mrs. P, because Mrs. P got on dark clothes. She got on a dark suit, like dark pants. But I'm like, no, because whoever was running down the stairs, it didn't sound like heels. Because somebody was running, like trucking. And it sounded like shoes. It didn't really sound like heels moving that fast, click-clacking like that. And I was like, Mrs. P, I doubt whoever was running, they was moving quick. I was like, I don't think Mrs. P could run in heels that fast. I was like, I don't think so. But the way that the camera panned to her when she was in the hospital room with Malcolm, she was like, she would do anything to protect her family. I said, please tell me Mrs. P didn't do this. Please tell me she's not capable of murder. I don't know, because she just had this little look in her eye like she's definitely about that life. So that's when Danny and Alicia went to the to the hospital to talk to Malcolm and Mrs. P. And Alicia was frosty with Mrs. P. Like, she didn't want her touching her or nothing. So come to find out, Gigi told him the whole truth. Malcolm was the one who killed Skye. I was like, what? I was hoping Skye wasn't dead, but I had a feeling. I was hoping she wasn't, but I said, nah, it's a long shot if she was alive. I was shocked. I said, Malcolm did it? So according to Malcolm, that night when Gigi and Mrs. P was in her office talking, he overheard their conversation. So he ran down there and stuff, and he stumbled upon Gigi and Skye fighting over a gun, because Gigi was pointing a gun at Skye, demanding the letter back. Because Danny had showed Santiago the letter. So now Santiago know that Jason is his son now. He was pissed with Gigi for knowing about this the whole time. And mind you, she is a damn hypocrite. How you gonna sit there and be mad at Santiago for keeping all these secrets, but yeah, you kept a major secret from him. A major secret. And I don't blame Alicia for being mad, because this whole time she was blaming, Gigi and stuff for her mom's death. But really, it was kind of Mrs. P fault, because that's what ultimately caused Beatrice to commit suicide, because she just couldn't deal with the fact that her husband fathered a child, by a chick that she's been working with, working with side by side, and she's going to have to continue to see every day. That was a hard pill to swallow. And Gigi sitting there talking about she kept the secret from Santiago all this time because she was trying to protect him. No, you weren't. You were trying to protect your damn self. You were trying to protect your interests and your kids' interests. That's what you were doing. You did it selfishly. You didn't do it for him. You did it for you. Be honest about it. I kind of felt bad for Malcolm, but then again, I didn't. Because he didn't have to take that young girl life over something so stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but at the same time, it's like, come on now. Like, there's better ways of handling that. You did not have to take that girl life. But Malcolm actually admitted that he'd been suspicious that Jason wasn't his son. So he's been suspicious for years that Jason wasn't his. He just never had actual proof until that night when he overheard Gigi and Mrs. P talking. That's when he was like, okay, so now I got confirmation that this ain't my son. Biologically. But he had his suspicions for some time. But I think he just didn't care. You know what I mean? Like, and he felt bad for what he did. And he told Danny, he was like, it's been haunting him ever since that he killed Skye. You know what I mean? And I respect the fact that Danny didn't call the cops, because what would be the point? He has terminal cancer, basically. He was going to die anyway. So there was no point in having him prosecuted. Danny felt like he was being punished enough by having terminal cancer. So Danny was like, okay, the universe found a way to, get revenge. They found a way to pay you back themselves. So I'm going to let it go. You know what I mean? I respect it. But, Malcolm felt like he didn't care what the real biological results were. He didn't care. He felt like Jason was his son. He didn't care. He just felt like Jason was his. So of course, Gigi, I guess Santiago was changing his will again. And Gigi talking about something, oh, can we talk about it or whatever. I don't blame Santiago for being pissed. I don't blame him. Obviously, he plans on adding Jason to his will. As he should. That's his son, and he should. So now, Malcolm passed away and they had the funeral. Jason, he gave a touching speech, about his dad being the best dad that he ever known. And, his dad did everything to raise him, help raise him, and taught him about stuff, It was a very beautiful speech. And the looks in that room, Santiago was looking at Mrs. P, then he looked at Gigi. If looks could kill, you could cut the tension in that room with a knife. And then, of course, Santiago approached Jason and basically told him, you don't have to call me Mr. Mendoza anymore. You can call me Santiago. He was like, let's go have lunch. Jason took it as it being phony. That's how Jason took it. He felt like Santiago was being fake, because Jason has worked for them for years now, and he's never had more than 2 words to say to Jason. But Jason took it as phony. He said, so now all of a sudden my dad died. Now all of a sudden he wanted to talk and have lunch and stuff. He just felt like it was fake and phony. Because he's never really been a fan of Santiago. Like, he just felt like Santiago was using people, and that's, you know, he just had a bad taste in his mouth when it comes to Santiago. And of course, now this fool, Mateo, sitting there talking about he getting out of bed once he, you know, did the do with Ingrid, talking about he gotta go make one more mistake. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? But by the end, we figured out what he may have been talking about. I love that scene with Danny and Alicia at the beach. I love that scene. You know, they was at the beach and he was basically saying goodbye to Skye by throwing her lighter into the ocean and stuff. I thought it was beautiful. And, you know, Alicia was asking him, what is he, you know, what are his plans now? And he was thinking about going back to Illinois because he was like, there ain't really nothing keeping me here. But, you know, actually there is some, well, not something, but someone. Alicia. I'm happy that they made up and they got back together and he started being more honest with her and stuff. Like, I'm happy about that. So Santiago ended up calling Mrs. P down in her office. And he was like, you know, I think we should tell Jason. Like, Jason has a right to, he felt Jason had a right to know that Santiago was his dad. Mrs. P not having it. Mrs. P was like, hell no, we're not telling him. You're not telling him. I'm not telling him. We're never going to tell him because at least, especially not right now. You know, he just lost the only father that he knew. Now would be a hell of a time to tell him. She's more worried about Jason hating her because she knows that if Jason finds out, he's going to hate her for a long time, maybe forever, for keeping that secret. And she doesn't want that to come out. So Santiago basically told her, well, I'm coming down to your office because we need to talk face to face. So when he gets down there, it's all dark and stuff, and he calling for Mrs. P, but ain't nobody around. That's when he heard some noise, and he looked. All of a sudden, a gunshot rings out, and Santiago got shot, and he's laying down on the ground, shot. Now, there could be a couple of suspects in this. Mateo, Mrs. P, or even Felix. Because Felix was coming back to Miami. He's not far from Miami. So he was only about an hour, maybe maybe an hour or two from Miami. So he's not far. So it could be one of those culprits. Mateo, Felix, or Mrs. P. I don't think Mrs. P probably would do it. But Mateo, because Mateo did say I got one more mistake to make. So he's definitely on the suspect list. So the question now is, who shot Santiago? That's what I want to know. Hopefully they could save him if there is a season 2. Hopefully he don't die because I'm like, we just can't take more death. Like, hopefully not. Let me tell y'all something. I've really enjoyed this season. This is a great summer show. I really hope ABC renews it and give it a season 2. I enjoyed it. I know a lot of you have enjoyed it. It's been a crazy ride, crazy roller coaster ride. And I'm going to need y'all to go on Twitter, social media, and hashtag Grand Hotel Season 2, because we need to let the ABC executives know we want a Season 2. I know I do. This show has just been amazing. It's been a guilty pleasure. It reminds me so much of that other show that they used to have called Revenge. It reminds me a lot about that. And this show has been amazing. So hopefully we get a Season 2 and bring back these characters, because I really have, grown to love these characters. Like, these characters, I think there's a lot more stories that they could tell with them. But yeah, until we meet again for Grand Hotel, this has been an amazing, ride, and it's been amazing for me to review this show. Hopefully I get to review a season 2. But anyway, I hope all of you have a great night. Hit the comment section, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night. Peace.